Your morning blitz begins now.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday, and it's going to be as hot as the sauce you put on your tacos today. High of 85, hazy. Yeah, it's going to be a warm one for sure. But I definitely think I'm going to get some tacos today, for sure. Although it's not going to be the same driving down High Street because, 2 weeks ago, I picked up my new-to-me car.
Yes.
A bit of a dream car, if you will.
Yeah.
And every time I start it up, I have a little giggle. That 5.7 Hemi just rumbling underneath me.
I don't know what a Hemi is, but it does sound cool.
It's a big engine.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Here's Goose when he starts his car.
Yeah, pretty much. But the day after I bought it, the check engine light came on. And as it turned out, it had a little evaporation leak around the gas tank. And so I took it to them.
Okay.
And they're super kind. They're fixing it up for me. So I had to drop it off yesterday so they could get the work done. And thankfully, I should also be very thankful that they have loaners. So I didn't have to go rent a car. I didn't have to get anyone for a ride.
Ooh, what'd you get?
They gave me my loaner. Honda Civic Hybrid.
That doesn't sound the same.
Makes no noise whatsoever.
And are you sitting so low to the ground?
So low to the ground.
Yeah.
So low to the ground.
It's unsettling to get in a Honda Civic after you've been in something like a little bit higher.
I mean, even after golfing yesterday afternoon, going from the golf cart to the Civic, I was like, and I almost fell backwards. Yes. I was like, what is this? I don't get me wrong. The car actually is a very nice car, and it's got a little pickup to it. But leaving this morning, because, after since I've had the car, leaving from the subdivision, started up, and I try and leave right away, because it's like 4:10 in the morning. Right. The Hemi's rumbling through the side streets. This morning, I started the car, and I was like, did I start the car?
Yeah.
Like, no noise.
Is that right?
No noise, yeah.
Over the past 20 years, I went from I had an SUV and then the truck. I hate cars now. I can't sit that low. I just hate it.
Right.
Any car.
Yeah. You need to be up higher. I get it. How are you, Kelly?
Great. Am I glowing? Because it's day 3 of my new skincare routine.
Very much so.
I figured.
Although, glowing to the point where I thought maybe like you visited Chernobyl or something, and it's like a little...
I need to back off.
A little back off, yeah. It looks very soft.
You guys, during our meeting yesterday, which we do on Google Meet, I really wanted to show you the mouse hole in my wall, but then I didn't want to extend the meeting. So I'll have to get you guys on Google Meet sometime to show you the mouse hole in my wall.
Oh, that would have been the best part of the meeting.
Yeah.
Has it gotten bigger? Or?
No, well, I mean, it's still covered up by my husband's old driver's license and a lot of tape, like packing tape and electrical tape.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't, pulled that off yet to actually see if the mouse got through all the way. So I could do like a reveal, kind of like a Geraldo Rivera type reveal live on Google Meet.
Have you heard any more scratches or anything?
I have not, and I have not smelled any rotting mouse carcass, so I don't know what's going on back there.
He's hiding in wait.
Yeah.
He
and his family.
Oh, yeah. He's going to come out. They're going to be in bed. He's going to come through the attic and just right down on top of you. Oh.
Luckily, it's in the guest room, so typically I'm just getting ready in there.
He's going to jump out.
You thought you got rid of me?
Right. Vic, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm ready to go.
Well, then let's do it. Let's get started with Blitz Morning Trivia.
All right, so here in Columbus, up at Polaris Parkway, we got a brand new water park yesterday.
What?
We have a new water park in Columbus, but this one is special. First one like it in the entire world. What kind of water park is this? This is bizarre to me, but it's specific. So I need to know what kind of water park is this, the brand new water park up at Polaris Parkway, Slick City. Yeah. Tell us at 99700 what kind of water park it is. Be the first one to do so.
Is it naked?
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
Naked?
Naked?
No, that's
Naked
not
water
the...
park?
I will tell you, it's not a naked water park.
Just wanted to...
Well, you got Goose all excited.
I
was about
really
to leave.
perked up.
I was about to leave and go sit in the parking lot. Open.
Wow. So 99-700, text in what kind of water park it is. Be first, and we will hook you up with $25 to go spend at waterbeds and stuff.
Vic, what is the answer to Blitz Morning Trivia?
Well, the question was, we got a new water park yesterday at Polaris Parkway here in Central Ohio, and this one is different than your average water park. In fact, it's the world's first like this. This news story says, from 614 Magazine. And I want to know what kind of water park is it? And the answer is waterless.
Wait, what?
It's a waterless water park.
What's it called?
Slick City. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture right now, and it's just a bunch of, it looks like water slides, but no water.
Oh,
they're like mats.
This popped up on my Facebook feed yesterday, or TikTok, like they have an ad running, and I saw this. This isn't a water park. This is slides.
Yes.
It's a slide park.
Yeah. They're calling it the world's first waterless water park.
That's what the news story said. World's first waterless water park chain announces opening date in Columbus.
Okay, that's done. This is more like a trampoline park with slides.
Well, yeah, they also have climbing activities, many go-kart tracks, an air court for tricks, barrel rolls, and more.
But not a drop of water in the place.
Not a drop of water.
Okay.
This says, all right, let me tell you, I Googled it, and it said, yes, Slick City is a waterless water park, also known as an indoor slide park. It features slides that use a patented slick slide technology to create a high-speed, exhilarating experience without water.
It's like when we used to sit in the potato sacks and go down the slide at the fair. That's all this is.
Right. Or like when Chevy Chase greased up the bottom of a slide and...
Yeah.
Remember that? What was that one? That
Christmas
was
vacation. Yeah, with his company's slick stuff, Don't want to get that dent in my head, Clark. My hair just won't look right again.
Water, come on.
Yeah, this is an indoor slide park.
Yes. I mean, good for you. It looks like fun. I might take the boys. They probably like it, but don't call it a waterless water park.
I do feel like you could get a launch situation going on one of these, though. It looks like if you're going fast enough, you are definitely catching air.
That's the whole point. Absolutely. Oh, don't you love my coffeeless water I have right here? What is it? Aquafina.
Well, if you want to know more, you can go to their Facebook page, which is Slick City North Columbus OH on Facebook. You can find them there. And got to say congrats to Rebecca Hobson from Groveport. She was the first one to text in the correct answer. So, Rebecca, you got $25 to spend at Waterbeds and Stuff and Beds and Stuff Superstores.
Did the story ever make it this far south? When I was doing mornings in Detroit a couple years ago, there's a place called Belle Isle, and they had, years ago, they had the giant slide, and they reopened it like 2 years ago or something. And I don't know what they did to the engineering or the greasing of the slide, but it was one of those like wavy slides.
Yeah, just like ours.
And people were bouncing off these
launching and bouncing down
the different curves.
We saw those videos.
Yep.
And the slide, and the best part is that they had, there were a lot of videos, and the slide is metal, so all you heard was ping, ping, ping. People just bouncing their heads off of this thing. It was open for like 4 hours, and they had to shut it down and re-engineer the whole thing.
Oh my gosh,
because people
it's so
were
funny.
just bouncing off of this thing.
Didn't something happen to you on the giant slide at the fair, Kelly?
No, nothing happened to me. We snuck in.
That's it.
To the fair after it was closed.
Nice.
To slide down the giant slide. It was in the winter. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
We've done that on the lake where we've done like midnight cruises.
Yeah.
And we'll pull up to some of the houses that have the floating docks. And a couple of them have just that small teal blue water slide.
Yeah.
It's got that small little curve to it.
Right.
It's 8 feet off the ground. It's nothing crazy.
On the end of the dock?
Yeah, on the end of the dock. Or no, well, they'll have like a floating dock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
so you just jump on the floating dock and you come down. And I remember one time after a good day of boat partying, we're out doing a midnight cruise, and I was like, pull up, pull up, pull up. And I'll be the first to admit, back in my heyday, I'd be the first to skinny dip and drop trout. So I'd pull off the bathing suit, I'd jump in the lake, I'd climb up the thing. I get up there, not thinking that throughout the day, this water slide has dried out, and there's nothing on this plastic, and I go down head first. Oh, yeah.
Well, it is
not
true.
something you want to do naked.
Well, I didn't do it naked, but it is. You did have to scooch down with no burlap sack. It was like even your clothes weren't enough to make it.
You got to
like,
water that thing
slick.
down.
Yeah.
That dry, that dry plastic is not good for the naked body.
Burn.
Oh, yeah. There was a bit of a bit of a hot spot. We'll call it that. It's 997 The Blitz.
Not so breaking news. The news already broke. We're trying to put it back together.
All right, so just because you're at a place that calls itself luxurious, you're still in Africa, and you're still in the wild, and there's still danger looming in every corner. A man staying in a luxury lodge in rural Africa is now dead after stepping out of his outside of his tent to use the bathroom and was killed by a lion.
Wait, they're calling a tent a luxury lodge?
I thought that too. Like, I guess, is it a really big tent?
I feel like if I have to step outside to use the restroom, then we're out of luxury territory.
Okay, but also that could be a first world problem, because if you've got all of these things, the tent, the furniture, the bed, all that stuff, it's probably a lot more than a lot of people have in the rural parts of Africa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so happens to be, it's so rural that they don't have running water or plumbing.
You're glamping.
Yes, glamping, basically. But, again, can you be glamping when you're that close to lions? Unfortunately, this man was a well-known local businessman. He was camping with his wife and friends. No. Man.
That's rough.
Yeah, that's
So you step outside to take a whiz. Mm-hmm. And what happens exactly?
I mean, I have to assume you hear one little crunch of a twig and then game over.
Lights out.
Lights, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh.
That is it.
He was waiting for him.
I mean, he was doing that slow walk, head down.
Yeah, crouch down.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
He approached that
unzip.
man. He approached that man the same way I approach an Oreo cookie blizzard, just real slow, like just. Oh, you're in so much trouble and you don't even know it. Oh, I'm gonna get you. Yeah.
Oh,
Poor guy. Second story takes us out to Utah, where a 23-year-old woman has now been arrested. Here's the thing, because I know there are two types of people, and Nora and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum here, in that after dinner that I 99.9% of the time make, she's like, go sit down. She goes and she does the dishes. And then, let's say there's dessert involved, a bowl of ice cream or something. She does those couple of dishes before she goes to bed. And in my lackadaisical ways, if there's dishes in the sink, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Are you like, dishes have to be done, clean, the kitchen has to be...
immediately after dinner, it's all done. I don't want to look at that the next day.
Don't want to see it at all.
No. And Charlie's the same way. Let's just get it cleaned up.
Vic?
Yeah, we're cleaned up immediately after.
Cleaned up immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then maybe you could, this would be you then, because this 23-year-old woman in Utah has been arrested after she allegedly tried to strangle her roommate last week over an argument over dirty dishes.
Okay, no.
Now, here's the thing. The report kind of makes it sound, the wording in the report kind of makes it sound like the plates weren't clean enough. Like it was kind of like a soft rinse, which would drive me nuts. If I go to get a plate out of the cabinet and it's got food crunches on it,
no.
I'm going to be a little mad. But about the timing of the washing of the dishes, I'm not sure. Police say the woman followed the victim into her bedroom after an argument. She pushed through the closed bedroom door, made her fall to the ground, grabbed her by the hair and neck, and strangled her to the point where she couldn't breathe. She also got a kick or two in. Doesn't sound like the roommate suffered any serious injuries, but the attacker was charged with aggravated assault and aggravated battery. It's unclear who's going to do the dishes when she's in lockup. I know she's going to be put on pots and pans duty.
I don't believe this was the first thing they were fighting about or the first time they were fighting about the dishes. I feel like this has been something going on, and she just hit a boiling point.
Well, that's very couples therapy-ish of you. It's not always about the little fight. What is the bigger problem here?
The bigger problem is the roommate probably never did her dishes.
Right.
And if it's my experience back in college, I lived with a bunch of girls. There were like 8 of us in a 3-bedroom house. It was nuts, all right? There were some people who did not do their dishes to a point of mold growth.
Ugh.
And it was absolutely just sickening to live like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I threw a punch, but I probably left a nasty note and said, "You've got to clean. This is disgusting. We are what are we, hobos?"
That is bad. That is
Hobos!
very bad. Yeah. It's a great descriptive word, hobos. Just a bunch of hobos living in this place. So, anyways, I'm curious if who's going to be the new roommate now. All of a sudden, you're stuck with both halves of the rent. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You're not so breaking news. 997 The Blitz. All right, I'm not sure how many millionaires or people with zero money problems we have listening to the show this morning. If you are, you spot me 20 real quick. Also, this segment wouldn't be for you because I think most of us are trying to save some money wherever we can.
Yes.
Things are expensive out there. Money is tighter, and so you want to save some money. So you might have a little bit of a plan and cutting things here or doing things a little different to try and save those pennies. However, some things you could be doing might be actually costing you more money, even though you're trying to save. You think you're doing the right thing, but it might be costing you more money. So, some things to keep an eye out for. This first one, I've heard people talk about, or my mom used to say it, and I never understood it. Number 1 on the list, driving to the cheaper gas station across town. Unless it's a lot cheaper, you're not saving any money. You're wasting the gas to get there for the $1.17 you're going to save on the full tank of gas because you're saving 4 or 5 cents a gallon. Now, if you do the Kroger points or you have a Costco membership and you can save the 60 cents a gallon or 70 cents a gallon on your 15-gallon tank or bigger if you've got something like a truck, then maybe it's worth it. But for the most part, it's not necessarily worth it driving all over Timbuktu trying to save 7 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
Right.
It's more maybe helping you psychologically than it is financially.
Right. But that's the problem. You're spending more money trying
Right.
to help yourself psychologically.
Right.
Number 2, DIY repairs unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I would love to know how many wives and fiancés and girlfriends out there have had to pick up the phone and call the expert because the man in their life is like, I got it. Don't worry about it. Never. I am the first to pick up the phone. In fact, I'm pretty sure Nora at times says, we can do this. And I'm like, no, we can't. Nope.
Yeah.
I will pay the money. I am picking up that phone. Because, man, one wrong thing, and that's going to cost you way more than it would have cost you initially to do.
Especially dabbling in electrical work. That's
there is no way. I don't want to die from electrical work, and I don't want to throw up from plumbing work. So I'm calling the expert.
Leave it to the experts.
You do have to turn the power off if you're going to do electrical work.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah,
No.
what kind of damage are you doing up in there?
Yeah.
Even.
Like to just
Yeah.
install a light fixture?
All right, well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about more complicated electrical
okay.
work.
That's what I didn't know.
I'm not even doing a light fixture.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
Hell no. There is a 37% chance I'm calling someone to change a light bulb. I'm not messing around with that.
Like recessed lights. We had recessed lights put in, and that's not something Charlie was going to tackle, but he has put a light fixture in on his own.
See? No. It's above my pay grade. Not happening. Also on the list, trying to make something for cheaper than you can buy it. Not always the best idea.
Wait, what are we doing cheaper than we could buy it?
Trying to make something.
Anything.
Yeah. When things being mass produced now, did you try this?
Well, no, I have made weed cheaper than I could buy it.
Oh, there is that. Okay. Well, there's that. Here's another one. Buying stuff just because it's on sale. Like, if you need it, that's great. You're saving money. But don't buy it just because it's on sale thinking, oh, I may need this.
Right.
You know, the girl math doesn't apply where it's like, if I buy it now, then I just saved $17, which basically made it free, right? No,
well, I mean, how many times have you heard that? Why'd you get that? Well, it was on sale.
Right, yeah. It was on sale.
But why did you get it?
I have been guilty of this before if you're trying to save money. Meal kit services like HelloFresh and stuff. Now, they do have the microwave ones, which I like for like lunch, quick lunches. But the ones like HelloFresh where they send you all the food you need, but you still have to cook it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who still don't cook it, and then it goes bad, and then you've just wasted the money.
Yeah.
Now, I will say the good thing about this is it does give you a chance to try new recipes because they'll send you just the particular amount of oyster sauce you need for this Asian dish.
It's like the exact ingredients.
Right, as opposed to buying the oyster sauce, which you will never use again.
Right.
But you got to make sure you make the meal. Because they send you these HelloFresh bags, and they're good for 5 days in the refrigerator, and then like any other food, it's going to go bad. It's just that they send you exactly what you need. So if you're not going to cook them, you're going to waste them.
Well, along those lines, you have, spoke to us about your problem with food delivery, spending money on, like Uber
Eats.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I absolutely we spend too much money on that, for sure. Buying the cheapest option. Here's another thing a lot of people do. You're like, I'm just going to get the cheapest option, going to save me some money. The problem is, sometimes when you buy the cheapest option, you get what you pay for.
I'm a firm believer in that. You get what you pay for.
You may be buying the cheapest option. You're going to buy the cheapest option 3-4 times when you could have just spent a little bit of extra money and get the better quality stuff. Especially, they say, when it comes to things like shoes and clothes, you're going to get a better quality that's going to last you longer. And finally, growing your own food. If you're a gardener, you know what you're doing, great. But a lot of times, it can end up costing you way more than you would just spend at the store.
There is a learning curve.
Big time. I've had some success, like with cucumbers, but other things like bell peppers, not so much.
See? Again, there is zero dirt underneath these fingernails.
You reach a point where it's like, man, this is nuts. It's so much cheaper and easier to just buy it at the store.
Isn't that one of those hobbies where there are a lot of, you got to, I mean, it's not just seeds and water that you throw in the ground. Right. You got to have the right soil or the tools.
Yep.
And like they have those, like when you want to grow tomatoes, the like tower things you put so they can climb up. And then you have to worry about pests. And then you have to be outside in the heat, tending to it.
Right. Ugh. I don't want any of that.
But do bring me fresh tomatoes off the vine. I do love that so much.
Yes.
Yum.
My next door neighbor, she's got a bunch of tomato plants, and they get so tall, and they'll grow over our fence. Ooh. And she says, take what you want. So I, like every day, anytime I want, I could just go out and pluck a brand new, and I didn't have to do anything.
Isn't that
get a brand
nice?
New tomato.
Are they the ones with the pool as well? Oh, the best neighbors.
The pool and the fresh tomato.
I mean, it's great.
That's pretty nice, yeah. So, if you're trying to save some money.
Did you mention eggs?
Well, they put that under the category of growing your own food.
Okay,
having your own chicken.
Having your own chicken.
Because my sister does this down in Asheville. She's got a bunch of chickens. They got ducks, and the eggs are great. She never has to buy eggs, but this pen and the food and the coyotes. The coyotes will get in there and kill them.
Oh, the hawks.
It's like I can't.
And then if you have a rooster, they're usually nasty.
They have a couple of roosters.
Yeah,
and loud.
Yeah, I don't want to fight a tiny velociraptor. There's no way.
I'll pay $8 for a dozen at
right,
Kroger.
Exactly. And you want to hear something? This is stupid. It's flat out stupid. I know it is. As someone who loves meat and things like that, I know where it all comes from.
Right.
And I know where chickens come from. Right. I know where eggs come from. I don't want to walk out there and pick up the thing that you just pooped out to go crack and make my omelet. I want to go to the store. Eggs are magical. They just appear. I want them at the shelf. I want to open them up, check all 12, make sure they're not cracked, take them home, and make my scrambled eggies.
You don't want to see how the sausage is made.
I don't.
No.
I don't.
I want to see that coming out your undercarriage. I getcha.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. All right. 997 The Blitz.
And now, 3 things you need to know before you go.
The man accused of killing a Morrow County Sheriff's deputy is expected in court today. Brian Wilson faces an aggravated murder charge in the Memorial Day shooting of Deputy Daniel Scherer. Meanwhile, the community is preparing to say goodbye. A public visitation for Scherer will be held today from 1 to 7 p.m. at Northmore High School. The funeral set for tomorrow morning, followed by a procession to Marion. All right, I do have a Karen Reed trial update.
Yeah!
It's time for your Karen Reed update with Kelly Queen.
Oh. All right. In the retrial of Karen Reed, the woman accused of killing her Boston cop boyfriend, John O'Keefe, with her car during a blizzard in 2022, the defense is putting on a strong case in their assertion that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car at all, that his injuries are more in line with a dog attack and a beating. A forensic pathologist yesterday testified about the cuts and puncture wounds found on one of his arms, saying they were made by a dog. And we do know that the Alberts, they're the police officer family who had that party at Karen Reed and John O'Keefe were headed to. They made it to the driveway, and supposedly John O'Keefe went in or went towards the house. Karen Reed took off. Anywho, we know that the Alberts owned a dog that had vicious encounters with other dogs and other humans. It was a German Shepherd. And we also know that after John O'Keefe was found dead in the front yard of the Alberts home, as soon as the defense started investigating whether a dog attack may have made the injuries on John O'Keefe's body, we know that the Alberts rehomed the dog somewhere up in Maine. So, and then the O'Keefes sold the house. So,
wow.
Which had been in not O'Keefe, the Alberts sold the house, which had been in their family for 100 years.
I am no medical examiner or forensic scientist, but I know when you initially started talking about the story, it was a dent in the car, and they talked about head injuries. Can't you see dog bites?
Yes, you can.
Canine teeth?
Yeah.
Fangs ripping apart.
Yeah, there are dog claw scratches up and down one arm and puncture wounds that are very consistent with the dog bite. The man had no lower body injuries, which would be consistent with being hit by a car. Had a massive head wound in the back of his head, and she miraculously they found pieces of her taillight days after. At the crime scene.
So wait, Kelly, is she guilty or not?
Listen, you cannot convict this woman of murder. You can't. You cannot convict her. There is no evidence, really. Other than at one point she reportedly said, "Did I hit him? Did I hit him? Did I hit him?" Or, as a witness says, she said, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him." There is basically the only thing, and that's just based on hearsay.
Okay.
Hearsay?
Yeah, hearsay.
Witness account.
Yeah, hearsay.
A witness account. So, I don't know, man. I say no. If you ask me, I think that these police officers are so shady, it makes your blood boil about what happened.
That's not good.
No. One of the guys at the party, you know what he did? Took out his SIM card, broke it up, and threw it in at an army base in a bin there, after the death. When they knew that when he knew they were coming for his phone, he destroyed the SIM card and threw the phone away. Come on, man.
I think this is one of those cases. Just hearing your report, you're the only thing I'm following, Kelly.
And I am biased. I don't think she should be convicted of this.
But it seems like, from what you're saying, for something like that, it seems like unreasonable doubt. Like there's just enough doubt there where it's like you can't
There's plenty of reasonable doubt, like you said, plenty of it. So I hope she gets out of this. A massive cloud of dust from the Sahara Desert blanketed most of the Caribbean yesterday in the biggest event of its kind this year as it heads toward the United States. This cloud of dust extended about 2,000 miles from Jamaica well past Barbados in the eastern Caribbean and about 750 miles from the Turks and Caicos in the northern Caribbean all the way down south to Trinidad and Tobago. The dust concentration was really high, making skies very hazy, and apparently people were sneezing, coughing, watery eyes. Can you imagine saving up for your Caribbean vacation? And
just sandstorm.
So anyway, this plume is expected to hit Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi late this week and into the weekend. It will likely lose some concentrations. There is a chance this dust cloud could reach Ohio. It does depend on wind direction and wind speed. But if the concentrations, if we get the right winds, we could see sort of a hazy sky in Ohio.
Great.
Is it going to collide with the smoke from the Canadian fires? That was crazy on Sunday.
Yeah, it was really hazy.
You could barely see the sun through that.
And
it wasn't a cloud in the sky.
Right. It really impacted our
Made the
day
fishing
that
good.
day. Oh, that's good. Thanks, Canada. All right, those are your three things.
I'll see out too late.
Okay. So this isn't normally this isn't a person we would normally talk about. But there's a certain situation going on which you may have heard of. And if you know anything about the music business, if you've ever watched a documentary or if you've ever heard like former winners of like American Idol talk, the music industry will bone musicians. They give you a contract, you write a bunch of songs, but the label actually owns the music, and you get a little bit of scratch when you sell albums. But your money comes from concert ticket sales, touring, and merch and things like that. So when Taylor Swift went to this whole thing, and her old producer owned all of her music and wouldn't give it back, and they ended up splitting, and he kept all of it. She went and decided, you know what? Fine. I'm just going to re-record everything.
Taylor's version.
Yes. And I think she released 4 or 5 albums. It was the same album she previously released with some slight changes and a couple new songs here and there. But she got millions and millions and millions of people to re-buy her album. And now, just a couple days ago, through a bunch of legal stuff and a big check that was written, Taylor now owns all of her own music again. She owns the masters to all of her own music. And you know what? I'm not mad at it. I think every artist should do that. But that's not how the business works, okay? I get it. But if you write it, it comes from your heart, your soul, you should own it. But now that her fans, what are they, the Taylorites? The Swifties?
Taylorites.
I don't know. They have spent millions of dollars on buying these re-recordings. Is it too much to ask for Taylor? And not only that, but the 2-year-long Eras tour that made her $1.6 billion. Is it too much to ask to be like, you know what? Everyone's getting $50 back. Give up, let's say it's, I don't know, even if it's $100 million. Give something back. Am I wrong here?
I think this is the
got bones.
Scam of a lifetime that Taylor has unwittingly pulled on all of her fans, and they cheer her on every step of the way. Yep. Now, listen, not to get too much into the suit because I don't know all the details, but back when Scooter Braun bought her catalog.
Not to mention, how did you lose out to a guy named Scooter? Just go slap him across the face. His name is Scooter.
So
Shut up, Scooter.
Everyone hates Scooter Braun for this purchase. However, did you know that Taylor Swift dad made $15 million off that sale?
Yeah.
To Scooter Braun. So not only was her family enriched by the sale to Scooter Braun, which she made seem like the biggest injustice that's ever happened, even though they did offer her the chance to buy all of her music before Scooter bought them. But she said no because they wanted her to sign some kind of NDA. She said no thank you. Scooter bought it, and then he seems like the devil to all the Taylor Swift fans, right? Her dad's enriched off this by $15 million, to the tune of $15 million. She re-records, has all her fans re-buy all of her albums, and now she manages to buy her catalog back. That is, you have grifted your fans.
That's what I think.
You've grifted your fans. And maybe it wasn't on purpose, but to me, everything Taylor Swift does has a purpose. It's all calculated. And I'm not saying she, for all intents and purposes, seems like a nice person and a generous person. She's often seen giving monetary gifts to her staff. And,
100%.
You know,
yeah, she bonused the truck drivers like $100,000 a piece.
Yes.
Yeah, but her team is good.
Yeah, this was I do believe, as I said, was a grift.
And here's the thing. Knowing they rebought all this music and got, I'm not going to use the word scammed, but they spent hard-earned money twice, and then it's announced that she got her music back, and people, the Swifties are on TikTok like, oh my God, it finally happened, she got her music back, and they're celebrating her.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
That's a cult, man.
It seems a little...
Well, whatever she's done it right to the tune of $1 billion+.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying, just give some back.
Well, it begs the question: are there any ethical billionaires out there? I don't know. Is this ethical or not? Who knows? I guess she's making.
I'm just saying, Swifties got boned, and
yeah.
I did see somewhere that I think someone started a class action lawsuit for this very purpose.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, for this very purpose, saying, look, we rebought all your music, and now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get your music back. Like, give a little back. We'll see what happens. I'm curious to see if anything goes down. It's the Blitz.
It's the Morning Blitz with Goose, Kelly, and Thick.
Time is gone. It's the time.
Yeah, we got a pair of Jet tickets up for grabs. They're going to be with Band of Skulls at Kemba Live on Saturday, June 7th. That's this Saturday. Doors at 7 p.m. If you still haven't got your tickets, access.com. But we got your chance to save you, I don't know, $100 and win a pair of tickets right now with the Time Warp. Very simple. We need a player right now. 800-821-9970. This is how the game works. Thick has compiled a montage for us. It consists of audio clips, could be music, TV, movies, commercials, news stories, baby screams. I don't know what he's put together.
But they're all from the same year.
So we will all listen together, and then myself, Kelly, and our contestant will all take a guess at the year. Who's ever closest wins. So if you would like to play and you want to see Jet this Saturday at Kemba Live, 800-821-9970. Kelly, you got your pen and paper ready?
Ready to go.
All right, we are ready to go. We are getting our contestant. Blitz, good morning. Hi, who's this?
This is Rick.
Rick. All right, Rick, welcome to the show. Your chance to win tickets to see Jet. Wow, thanks for the enthusiasm. Thick has got a montage for us, so listen closely. You are going to hear 3 clues. Again, it could be a combination of anything. TV, movies, music, news clips, whatever it is. And we are all going to take a stab at the year. After we play the clip, we'll give you the choice, Rick, if you want to guess first or last. So, Thick, are you ready with the clip?
I am ready.
All right. Today's Time Warp. Let's go.
In the common tongue, it says, one ring to rule them all.
Angels deserve to die.
iPod. 1,000 songs in your pocket.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh.
I need a second on this one. Okay, so it's Rick. All right, Rick, your choice. Do you want to go first or last on guessing what year all those clips took place?
I'll go last on that one.
You'll go last. Okay.
You need it again?
No. I got all the clues. It was obviously Lord of the Rings. It was System of the Down, and it was the invention of the iPod. And let me tell you, 2 of my favorite movies are about the same thing, but they're done in very different ways. I lean more towards the Ashton Kutcher Jobs movie than the Michael Fassbender Steve Jobs movie. But but I know he's talking about the release of the iPod because we're on, 11 was the iPhone. The first clickety 1,000 iPod. I'm going 2005. Kelly?
I think...
Wait, you're over there typing on your computer using your mouse.
No.
Okay.
I already have my guess.
Okay.
I think the iPhone was invented before 2011, though. I'm going earlier than that, but not by much. You said 2005?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody had an iPod before an iPhone. iPhone was like
no shaking your head, Vic. What are you doing?
6-ish, 7-ish, 2006. I'm going to say 2002.
See, now that you say that, I know you're right and I screwed up. All right, Lord of the Rings, System of the Down, the iPod being released. Rick, take a guess. What year did all that go down?
2003.
He says 2003.
Okay, we're right between the
Rick.
two of us.
2002 for Kelly. 2005 for me. I know I'm wrong. I'm late. You're right. The iPhone was like 2007.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I was off by a few years. So the iPod was a couple. Because they had the shuffle.
iPod, I don't think 2005 is a bad guess though.
They had the shuffle. They had the.
Right, they did the different versions. Like we had to go through some years of different versions of iPods.
So I don't think 2005 is enough. Well, Thick, we're right on the clues, I'm assuming. Lord of the Rings, System of the Down, the release of the iPod.
In the common tongue, it says one ring to rule them all.
Angels deserve to
iPod, 1,000 songs in your pocket.
So, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
Chop Suey.
I don't think any of us are right.
It's a 2001.
An iPod.
Yeah.
All came out in, 2001.
Why?
Let me tell you something. Do you know what clued me in? Chop Suey. I remember I started working at the Blitz in 2001, and I remember us talking about, you and I, Thick, talking about System of a Down, and that song came out, and you were like, wake up! But there's my first time working with you again for many years.
Right.
And I remember
I was all
that
the time
being
walking around going,
wake up!
This is the first time we play Time Warp and no one's gotten it right.
Oh, 2001.
Oh, bummer. Now that I think about it. You know what, Rick? You got up early. You're listening to the show. You called in. We'll hook you up with tickets anyway. Okay? You're going to go see Jet.
Saturday night.
Yes. You have got plans on Saturday night. Jet, Band of Skulls, Kemba Live. I hope you enjoy the show. You hang on 1 second. We'll get you hooked up, okay?
All right. Thank you.
So I think we can all admit there are some really, really amazing things about social media, and there are some really, really terrible things about social media. It can provide misinformation, and it can provide entertainment. But one of the good things about social media is that I think a lot of us have learned that pretty much no matter what, you're not alone. There are other people like you. You can find your community. There are people to talk to. There are people to learn from. There are things to see where you can be like, oh, I'm not the only one. And one of the biggest things is parenting. Because I think one of the biggest rules about parenting that you learn very, very quickly, no matter how many books you read, no matter what classes you take, you're going to screw up. You're going to make mistakes. Some are going to be big. Some are going to be small. And I saw this video, and I couldn't help but die laughing because it was a big old parenting fail. I'm going to set it up for you. There's a husband and wife, and they have just dropped their kid off at either like a golfing lesson or like a little golf. It looks like a top golf type place where her and the friends are about to go golfing. And all of a sudden the video starts, and the dad is looking at the camera going, oh my God. Take a listen to what happened.
No, Mandy, you're going to have to go down there. You got to go get that putter. You got Mandy. Oh, no. Mandy left the Peter putter in the bag that Green just took to practice. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You know where they're at? Huh? Excuse me. What? Oh, my God. I had to go back because we had both the white.
Wait, describe what happened here.
So, inside the golf bag, you keep all your golf clubs.
Right.
And why? I don't know if the daughter must have been using the mom's golf clubs. Maybe the kid doesn't have her own golf clubs yet, so she's using mom's golf clubs. Well, there's this funny little prank putter you can buy, and it's called the Peter putter because the club of the putter that you hit the ball with is shaped exactly like a Peter.
Oh.
And it's in the kid's golf bag.
Oh, no.
So the dad had to go running back because the kid's in golf practice and had to go pull the Peter putter out of the golf bag. And then at the very end of the video, he goes, I had to go back twice because we had the black one and the white one in there.
It's just a gag thing, though, right? It's not a sex toy.
No, it's just a gag thing.
Right.
It's got a hand. It's a putter.
Yeah, I
but
got it.
the club face of the putter is shaped like a Peter.
I do think it's time for you to buy your daughter her own clubs.
Yeah.
If you're going to be messing around like that, like an adult, then get your little girl her own clubs. Oh.
Big old parenting fail. You send your kid to golf practice with the Peter putter.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
I want to know, 800-821-9970 or 99700. What was your parenting fail? What mistake did you make that, I don't know, maybe it was embarrassing? Maybe your kid didn't even know. Maybe you fixed the problem before it happened. But it was still a parenting fail.
Maybe you were on a flight and you begged the flight attendant to give your daughter the microphone when they're on a 2-hour delay.
Oh, you're talking about the
Moana
mom, the Moana kid?
Moana. Now that's a parenting fail.
Yeah.
You really embarrassed your kid on that one.
Shouldn't do that. Shouldn't do that at all. No one wants to hear that singing. Vic, can you think back in the day when the kids were younger that you or Heather made a parenting fail?
No, we were perfect.
You were perfect.
That's my kids, I'll tell you.
The perfect parents. I do know one time, a couple years ago, Nora and I, Nora works half days on Wednesdays, and this particular Wednesday, we had decided it was a great day out. We were going to go have a little patio lunch. And we had a cocktail. I was done with work in the morning show. She was done with her work for the half a day. And we got to talking and conversing, and a cocktail turned to 2, and we're having a good old time because we know that the 16-year-old, at the time 15-year-old, was at track practice, and it was Dad's day to pick him up. Except we got the weeks wrong, and it wasn't Dad's day to pick her up. So there's nothing like pulling up to the school in a minivan Uber. Get in, kid! Why are we in a stranger's car? No. We hit the lottery. We have personal drivers now.
Oh,
we hired a personal driver. Is what that was. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go. No, please.
I actually, one time that I can remember that kind of freaked the kids out when I threw butter at Heather, my wife.
Wait. Well, I want to know the story. Why did you throw butter at Heather?
I'm trying to remember. That's the part.
Was it out of anger?
I don't know if it was anger or frustration, but
frustration's just a nice word for anger.
Yeah.
So it was one of those tubs of really soft butter. Like, I can't believe it's not butter, maybe, because it was really soft.
You take a handful of it?
No, I had the container. It was just one of the smaller ones. And I didn't throw the container. I just swung it down, and butter flew out of the container and landed on Heather. Yes, exactly what happened.
Is it like a curveball or a breaking ball, a slider? What are we talking about? It was a
straight fast pitch.
Straight fast pitch.
Just right down the middle. And we both looked at each other, busted out laughing. But I know that I found out years later it just totally scared the hell out of our daughter, Dan.
Oh.
Can't scare your kids.
Well, we were laughing. I mean, that's the worst physical altercation we ever had.
Thank you, Blitz Nation, for bringing this one up. Hey, what about the time one of the boys almost saw the taco incident where I was making Nora tacos, and she said, "What do you want in your taco?" And I was like, I asked her what she wanted in a taco. She goes, "Oh, I want your meat in the taco." And the kid almost walked in on that one.
Yeah, because you obliged.
Yeah, I obliged. 800-821-9970. What was your parenting fail? Blitz,
I have an epic fail for you.
Oh, what is it?
Okay, on New Year's Eve in 2000 for the Y2K, I got the nice little prank that I would thought when they were doing the countdown for the ball, that I would go downstairs and hit the breaker and shut all the electric off.
Shut her down. Okay. Yeah, that's something I would do. I like it.
My kids screamed. My daughter's still traumatized to this day. But my son, he was the bright one, and he was 7, and he goes, Daddy, how come we're the only one with lights out? Everybody else's lights are on.
Yeah. There you go.
So out of the mouth of babes, what did you say?
You gotta love it when you try and fool your kids into the end of the world. Yeah, that's a parenting tale for sure. But we appreciate the call, man. Thank you so very much. 800-821-9970 or 99-700. You want to shoot us a text? What was your parenting fail? 997 The Blitz. Parenting fails. It happens to every parent. It's just a matter of if you want to admit it and call us at 800-821-9970 what your parenting fail was. Ken, good morning.
Good morning.
What was your parenting fail?
I accidentally left my 18-year-old daughter at a truck stop.
So was this like a road trip? You make a bathroom and snack stop and you got in the car and left?
Yep. I said, all right, everybody out to go pee. My son and I get out and we go in. We come out and we're talking. And we just start driving and my son goes, hey, wait a minute. Where's Sissy at? Luckily, we were only on the other side of 70, but she was so mad.
Oh. How long? How long before
it was only like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Long enough to get over, 36 and 70 there. And
wow, so she was in the back seat. And when you got back in the car, you just didn't look in the back seat.
Nope, because, my son was with me, and she was still sitting there when I got out, so I thought she was still sitting there. Boy, was I wrong.
Oh, that's a good one, Ken. I appreciate the call, man.
My sister did that. She has 7 kids, right? When they were all young, they decided
no way you're keeping track of all of that.
Yeah, so they go to Graders in Westerville. They're in uptown Westerville, and they all pile back in the van, and they're halfway home. And all of a sudden, my sister's like, where's Max, the youngest? And they all look around. They're like, I don't know. No clue. Not here. Apparently, the poor kid, youngest of the 7, goes into the bathroom. And in the meantime, they all piled in the van and left.
When you do that, if you take a group trip together, you've got to, do the number. 1, 2. They got to count off in order until you hit 7. Yeah. Blitz, good morning. Hi, who's this?
Hey, it's Robert.
Robert, what was your parenting fail?
Well, I had custody of my niece and 2 nephews, and I live out in the country, and we got a cornfield around the house and the above-ground pool. They were all in their pool playing with their friends. Well, I got the bright idea to take this Jason Voorhees costume with a real machete, had fake blood all over it, and I come out of the corn with it. And the 13-year-old, she about drowned.
You can't have murderous villains come after your kids and nieces and nephews. That's just wrong.
Oh, the psychological damage.
She about drowned, and I had to pull the costume off and dive in the pool and get her up.
And I had to save her.
No. Yeah. She was not happy.
Oh, thanks for the call, man. Tony shot us a text. My daughter was finally able to be forward-facing in the car seat, and we were driving. I make a turn, and I hear a thump. I look in the back, and she's looking at me up from the floor. I forgot to buckle her in.
Oh! Yes.
Oh. This one, my kid found Mom's sex skills on my phone.
Oh, no.
A video of Mom's sex skills.
You can't let kids scroll through the photo album.
Here's a fail.
That is not good. That is a big old parenting fail. It's the Blitz.
And now, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
A Wisconsin man is facing charges after allegedly forging a letter threatening to kill President Trump to try to get another man deported. This is so cold. Prosecutors say Demetrix Scott sent the letter using the name and return address of Ramon Morales Reyes, who was later arrested by immigration agents, and they started deportation. Investigators found, or the process rather, he's still in the U.S., but they start the process, but investigators then found that Reyes's handwriting did not match the handwriting on the letter. And this guy speaks limited English, so there's no way he could have written this perfectly, like this letter in the English language. He doesn't know the English language that well. So anyway, this guy, Demetrius Scott, he's already in jail. He's facing armed robbery charges, and apparently the guy he wanted deported was going to be a witness in his upcoming trial. So he's trying to get this guy deported so that he could save his own butt. So anyway, this poor guy's from Mexico. He's got 3 U.S. citizen children, and he's got a lawyer now working to try to get him released to stay in the U.S. That is cold.
That's not good.
Things got loud at a Chick-fil-A in Cleveland after a 16-year-old girl was sent home on her first day of work because of the length of her manicure. Police say the girl arrived for orientation, but the manager told her fingernails were way too long, that she needed to cut them, and they could just start the next day. Officers say the girl left, called her mom. Her mom was irate, called Chick-fil-A, starts yelling at the manager. The manager's like, you know what? Your daughter doesn't have a job here anymore. We're good. I don't need to deal with any of this. So the mom heads to the restaurant with the girl. She walks in, starts yelling about how she studied hospitality and her daughter's fingernails were not too long to work in the industry. Employees are like, ma'am, you need to leave. But that's when the mom and daughter attacked 2 employees. One of them had to be taken to the hospital after they grabbed his hair from behind and yanked his head back. Hurt his neck really bad. So mom gets arrested on the spot. They take her to jail. She is completely uncooperative and tries to urinate in the hallway. What are we doing?
Talk about
here?
a parenting fail.
Right.
Then she dug her fingernails into the wrist of an officer. So these mom and daughter have fingernail issues. Anyway, mom is facing adult charges. Daughter is facing juvie charges of assault. Well, apparently people are walking out of the horror movie Bring Her Back. And not because it's bad, but because it is gory. The movie dropped Friday, so we do have a few days of viewing and a few days of sporadic walkouts and runouts. No spoilers, but the movie is described as having plentiful, extreme gore, which is, quote, sickeningly realistic and deeply disturbing. One review says there are multiple stomach-sinking moments during the movie, and it's always when one particular child is on screen, and a lot of this violence is directed, I guess, toward the child, and people couldn't handle it. Wow. It was just too much. So, yeah, apparently people are walking/running out of the theater to avoid any more trauma.
I wonder if, obviously a lot can be done with not only visuals, but music and lighting and, what they do and show to set the mood. But you talk about, like, the goriness and the violence. 2 recent movies I saw, Fight or Flight with Josh Hartnett, and what was the other? The TV show, The Pit. We were just talking about The Pit. Yeah. And the things that they show
amazing
are crazy. And there are some things in The Pit where you're like, pearls clenched. You're just like, that's crazy. But it's gory, but it's medical.
Right.
They're not showing anything more in this movie than they show in The Pit. No. Or that they did in Fight or Flight. Because there are some action scenes in that movie. It's kind of the CIA fighting movie thing. And he does some pretty crazy things with a chainsaw against some bad guys. And it's like...
Well, I just watched the trailer for the movie, and I think it's probably as much as it's just disturbing as it is gory. I mean, there's some very disturbing things in that trailer.
And also,
now I really want to see it.
I think the segment of society who can stomach these types of gory movies are able to separate reality from, just as a movie.
Yes,
I'm not buying that any of this is real, so I can watch it. And other people who get into the story so much that it's like it's all reality at that point in their brain, and you just can't separate it out.
Now I just want to see the parts that people are running out of.
Well,
I don't like any of these movies. I think they're dumb, but
this one looks pretty good.
I want to see the scenes that they're talking about.
I want to know if anybody's seen the movie. 99700. Just text me. I want to know if you've seen it. All right, those are your 3 things.
So if you're on the apps looking for love, you know that for a lot of these, you have the ability to set some parameters. Depending on which app you're on, you get the opportunity to set more parameters than not. But Tinder has just added a height filter. Now, I did see some videos. There's a certain sect of men who are walking around doing these street interviews.
Okay.
And one of the popular questions now is they will walk up to a female and say, "Hey, does height matter in a man?" And they'll be like, "Yeah." And he'll be like, "Okay, step on this scale." I mean, a man can control his height. Just saying.
I do think we are all allowed our own preferences, though. But you don't really have to say them out loud, do you? Like, if you prefer a really skinny woman, who cares? That's your preference.
Yeah.
If you prefer somebody who has a little bit of lovely meat on her bones, who cares?
Yeah, some guys love a girl with a lot of meat.
I totally agree.
You want a tall guy, a short gal, a tall gal, a short guy? Who cares?
Yeah, to each his own.
So I don't mind a filter. It's like you are looking for something that you would normally find yourself attracted to, right?
I don't disagree with you.
So you're like, if you know...
and in all honesty, if you want to set more filters, great, set more filters. Are you shallowing the pool? Yeah, of course you are.
Well, that's the whole idea.
Are you missing out on who could be amazing because of they're 5'8.5" and you set it for 5'9", and you're missing out because you set the filter?
Here's the beautiful thing, if I may give you an analogy. We looked at a home we eventually bought a year later. We looked at it the year before. It was not big enough for us. It was not right for us. It just wasn't the right house. But let me tell you, after a year of fails, we came back to that house and it was like, this is perfect. So see what I mean? It's
you
like
settled.
You set your parameters, and sometimes you're like, I'm not really finding what I want with these parameters. Maybe I could go back and look at the things I passed over the first time around.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll be good. And it eventually was a great house for us.
Are there people upset about this filter?
Oh, there are some people that are upset about it. Yeah,
okay.
for sure. Yeah, some people are throwing a fit about it. But here's a question. What's a filter that you could think of that would be great to have on a dating app? Like something like smell. Like
big boobs.
Okay, that's a great filter. Yes.
The big boobs filter. I don't hate it.
Only C cup plus. That's the only thing I'm going to take.
You'd never meet me, but I don't hate the filter.
Someone said smell. Do you smell like Axe body spray or a wet dog all the time?
Here's what I want to know. Tell me about an average tip you would give on a $60 food bill.
That's a great filter.
Yeah.
That is a great filter. How much? Yeah. What's the tip on a $60 bill? Yeah. I think that's an amazing filter. Here's another great one that might be a filter. Sleep schedule. Are you a night owl? Are you an early morning person?
Okay. All right.
Because you might have a preference one way or the other.
Oh, man, you could add so many things. I mean, if you live in Ohio, you might want to say, are you a Michigan fan? Yep. Okay, I don't want that. Want that out.
Oh,
and vice versa. Vice versa.
I swiped on so many OSU fans.
You did?
Yeah.
Purposely, like you were trying to find OSU?
You passed them over.
I passed them
over.
You
passed them.
I swiped right.
Right. Oh, gotcha.
Or left.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Whatever the bad one
Whatever
is.
the bad one is.
Yeah, see?
Whatever that big old thumbs down is. I was like, this is not going to work.
No, because you don't need the conflict.
Yeah, so if you had that filter, you wouldn't have had to worry about those.
I bring enough conflict already. I don't need to add to it. Family plans. Do you want kids? Do you want a big family? Do you want one kid? How do you want to set that up?
I like it.
Pet ownership. Are you a dog dad or a cat mom?
Oh, good one.
Do you want pets or you don't want pets at all?
Democrat, Republican.
Phil says he wants a picture of your medicine cabinet.
That's a good one.
I like it.
Absolutely. Here's a great one. And this is a filter, and I've done this before, not as on a first date. I have absolutely done this many times. Trauma history.
Yeah, okay.
How much trauma are we dealing with? Because easily half a dozen times I remember being on a really good first date. And I say it in a joking manner, but I'm also somewhat serious. It's like, how much baggage are we talking? Are we talking like a weekend trip to Chicago, or are we talking like a 14-day Mediterranean cruise? How much baggage are you bringing with you to this relationship?
Or how much therapy have you had in your life? Because it's always healthy to know that somebody's had at least a little bit of therapy.
Absolutely. 100%.
Not so breaking news. The news already broke. We're trying to put it back together.
All right, we got a couple stories involving the Popo. The first one is a po-po herself down in Florida. Yes, this is the WTF. What the Florida? Deputies in Volusia County, Florida, arrested one of their own because she was busted while riding her personal motorcycle. Here's the problem. She was riding around with a fake license plate that said, "Chase me."
Oh.
It was CHASM backwards 3, or the number 3, so it looked like, backwards E. And here's the deal. Deputy Erica Musey, she's a 26-year-old deputy, was accused of having the counterfeit license plate. And here's the thing. She said, "Oh, yeah, sometimes I ride around in this fake plate in private areas, and I just forgot to put my real plate back on." But here's the other problem. After a little bit of research, they found Deputy Erica Musey's social media page. And if you're a police officer and someone carrying a badge who's supposed to be following all the rules, you probably shouldn't post a bunch of videos of you on your motorcycle screaming down roads at 100 miles an hour or more, doing wheelies and doing all these illegal things, which is exactly what happened. She has videos all over her Facebook page of her doing these crazy motorcycle things. Yeah, you're not supposed to be doing that.
She's I'm an influencer. That's what I do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, she's also now jobless because she resigned after all this came to light, and she's not going to be working at the police office anymore. Police have just arrested a man after they saw him riding his bike, carrying a giant garbage bag. And upon inspection, Christopher Monin, a 41-year-old from Florida, WTF. What the Florida? Found out he had more than 30 deflated pool inflatables.
Yeah.
Oh, floats?
Floats, yeah, pool floats in his garbage bag. Which is strange because, well, the police have gotten some calls about break-ins over the past couple days. Upon further investigation, they went to his house where they found more than 85 different types of pool floaties.
This is what you're going down for?
Well, here's the deal. It's because Christopher admits he's got himself a bit of a fetish.
Oh, God.
These aren't for pool use. These are for personal use.
Hugs? I mean, what?
Yeah, of the mouth kind.
Well, it's a pool float.
Haven't you ever heard of people with rubber issues?
Well, they found a lounge chair with cup holders, a duck float, a watermelon float, a float that was shaped like a piece of bacon. He even stole a Shaquille O'Neal branded Shaq inflatable lounger. Yeah, he likes to gratify himself.
I don't know.
Now, here's the question. Here's the question. Are you doing something to the float, or are you, laying naked on the float because you like the way the plastic
That's what I'm
feels?
I mean, what are you going to do to it?
Hey, people do a lot of strange things to a lot of different things.
I know, but I mean, it's got to be about the feel when it comes to that.
And to some people, that feels good.
Yeah, I know.
So... Are you rolling?
I'm just saying, a cup holder's too big.
For some.
Well, I guess I don't know.
For yourself,
I don't know.
sir.
You're right.
Why do you need such a variety? Can't you just get one?
That's the spice of life, Kelly.
That's called marriage. Don't you want to change it up every so often? Come on. He's a swinger for pool floats.
Wear the schoolgirl outfit tonight.
He put the nurse's outfit on the piece of bacon floaty. He's like, yeah, getting it tonight.
Would you quit pantomiming what this guy might be doing? Gross.
He likes to act everything out.
I swear we need cameras in here. When are we getting them?
They're coming, and you guys are going to love watching Goose talk.
Italians talk with their hand. I talk with my hip bones.
Yeah, you do. All the time.
Yeah. It's not so breaking news. 99.7 The Blitz.
Stop.
What is that?
All right, ladies. This is a chance for you to just call us out, because it's just a well-known fact that sometimes men are just dumb. Sometimes we don't think before we speak, or sometimes we try to be funny and it doesn't come across that way. which, of course, I know nothing about. So, in one of the most pivotal times, if not the most pivotal time in your entire life, you are getting ready to give birth to your child that you just had with this person or conceived with this person, and you're in the room, and man, dumb dad just opens up his mouth. What's the dumbest thing you heard a guy say in the delivery room? Your husband, your significant other, your baby daddy, whatever it may be. Like the father who, right when it was over, said, "That wasn't so bad, was it?" Not supposed to say that. Let's see here. When our daughter decided to make her entrance at 38 weeks, my husband responded with, "Already? The book said it was going to be 40. It's supposed to be 40 weeks. You're here too early. Thought I had 2 weeks left." Yeah, that's not good.
Can I just advise, guys? I know you might think it's funny, whatever, when you say it to the doctor, but I promise your wife thinks it's terrible. The doctors don't like it either when you ask if they can add an extra stitch.
Oh, God.
Afterward. Don't do it.
That.
Do not do it.
That's stupid. This person said I was in the final stages of pushing on all fours, and nature happened, which does happen sometimes.
Sure. Happens, I think, in every birth.
Pretty
almost.
much, yeah.
Nature happens. However, as it happened and fell onto the ground, my husband yells that I thought the head fell off.
Oh, no. Wow.
Oh, no. I mean, if you're not paying close attention and you kind of catch the peripheral, and all of a sudden it's just like, boom.
Something happened.
800-821-9970. 99-700. Do you have an instance where your significant other, the father of the baby, just said the completely wrong thing during labor or right afterwards?
How about, okay, let me give you this example, because I was in the delivery room for my friend. She needed a support person, and I'm like absolutely dying to be her support person in the delivery room. It was probably top 3 most intense experiences of my life in terms of emotions.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it is. I can't imagine being the one giving birth, but the one being in there. And it was so overwhelming that she was squeezing my hand, and she's having a really rough time, right, with the birth. Rough time, like yelling, screaming, whatever. And I'm like, I'm there for you. I'm there for you. And all of a sudden, I thought, I am losing consciousness. Like, I'm going to pass out.
From her squeezing your hand so hard?
Not because of that, because of the emotional intensity of it all. I was she was in pain. This baby's being born. This whole thing is glorious and beautiful. And I go, I think I'm going to whisper to the support medical staff. I go, I think I'm going to pass out. But I felt bad, you know what I mean?
You
I'm
wouldn't
trying
be the
to
first.
Right, but it's like she's the one giving birth and I'm the one passing out.
Right.
I'd never passed out, but they did get me a stool. It was nuts. So I don't know if that's one of those examples where you're like, hey, I'm on the table squeezing a human out of my body.
Right.
But by all means, go sit down.
Please, you do you. Yeah. Blitz, good morning. Hi, who's this?
Doing good. So the one my wife will never let me live down is she gave birth and bounced back to her natural size. I looked at her right after the birth and went, "Look, babe, you're not as fat as me before."
Oh, no. No, you can't say that. That's a dumb man thing to say, for sure. Absolutely. Thanks for the call.
Okay, I got a message from Terry. She said I had a C-section with both boys, but with one of them, they cut her open. They did the C-section, cut her open. Her husband looked over the curtain and said, "You look like a gutted deer." And then when they asked him for her birth date, he didn't know her birth date.
Oh, dude,
her own husband.
fail.
That is a big old baby
Terry,
daddy fail.
that's rough.
That is not good. Blitz, good morning. Hi, who's this?
Hey, this is Matt. How you doing, guys?
Good, Matt. What dumb thing did you say in the delivery room?
Okay, well, it's our first baby. It was a really long delivery, and the baby, she got kind of caught in the birth canal, so she was in there a long time. And when she came out, when the baby came out, she had this really elongated head because the baby's heads are soft. It looked like an alien. I looked at the nurse and I was like, oh my God, is she supposed to look like that? It frightened the hell out of my wife. She has a beautiful little baby head.
Yes.
Wait. Is that my baby? Is that my baby? Yeah.
It was all purple.
Yeah, it can be shocking to see sometimes. Appreciate the phone call. Blitz, good morning. Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Lori.
Lori, hi, Lori. What did the baby daddy say that was really stupid in the delivery room?
So I'm in the delivery room. The labor, the contractions are getting closer and closer. He's kind of helping me breathe through it. And then the contractions, because they get closer, were like just a minute apart. And he turns to me and goes, you just had a contraction.
Oh.
Wow. Like it's your fault you're having another one.
Again? You just had one. Really?
We got to get out.
Get out. See, like, my gosh, you're so dramatic. Right. You just had one.
That is great. Thank you for the call.
Rebecca texted in, I don't see a problem with this one. She said, my husband told me he was hungry and proceeded to order pizza while I was in labor.
Oh, okay, but the thing is I do know that pregnant women, for the most part, you cannot eat when you go into the hospital. Like, you're not eating. You're doing ice chips, right? Yeah. And they're starving. Okay. So you probably should, like, make it? You can't make it just the amount of time it's going to take to have the baby, or can you just excuse yourself and go?
Could be hours. An hour 10.
Walk out of the room. You don't need to announce that you're going to order a 5-course meal when your poor wife's in agony.
But wait, if you're in the hospital for 12, 15 hours, that you don't get to eat at all while you're in labor?
Ladies, I don't know. I've never had a kid. All I know is my best friend, when she had her baby, she was so starving when she got back to her room that she made her husband bring her a pizza. She was so hungry.
I believe it.
I'm just assuming that's everyone's experience. I could be completely wrong about that.
Matt, the truck driver, said I played Salt and Pepper's Push It in the delivery room.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Bob says, I told the doctor it looked like a wet St. Bernard coming through the car door. That's something I would absolutely say.
Yeah, I could see that.
Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
Hi, this is Evelyn. How are you guys?
Good, Evelyn. What did the baby daddy say that was really stupid in the delivery room?
Okay, well, I need to tell you, first of all, this was my third rodeo. My 2 oldest children were from a previous relationship, so this was my husband's first time.
Okay.
And so I'm in there, and it's painful, but I'm trying to, make it a pleasant experience for him, because it's all about him, of course. And they came in and they said, it's time for an epidural. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it now. And I said, I hadn't had one before, or I hadn't had the spinal thing. I hadn't had it before. And my husband, he held my hand and he looked at me so lovingly and he said, baby, I hate to see you in so much pain. Please do it. Get it done. And I said, okay. And then he looked me straight in the eye and he called me the P word.
Oh!
And then you filed divorce papers that day?
Wait, he tells you to do it, and then he says, and he calls you names.
It was hilarious.
Okay.
Not
so he was
everyone
joking
can
around.
Take it like
that's
that.
Funny.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay,
That's funny.
Now that's, again, something I would do to Nora for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
I got it.
Courtney Lynn says they don't feed you when you're in active labor. You cannot eat.
Cannot eat when you're in active labor. Okay.
And then this person says, I have a friend whose doctor's response for an extra stitch was, how small do you need it?
Oh, that's a great response.
That's a good comeback.
That'll teach them.
Absolutely. 800-821-9970 or 99-700. The dumb thing that your baby daddy said in the delivery room, 99.7 The Blitz. Look, we all know boys be dum-dums sometimes. And sometimes it happens in the worst possible situation. Like, when you're in labor. What's the dumbest thing baby daddy ever said in the delivery room or while things were going on? Stacy says he told me to take it easy when I was cursing and yelling.
Dude.
Take it easy.
That's not something you say to a woman who's in labor.
No.
My husband asked the doctor how soon we can have sex just minutes after I delivered our son.
What?
Idiot!
Wow.
Finally, that kid's out of you. Now we can go back to normal.
Okay.
Sherry's confirming, too, no food during active labor, only ice chips.
I seem to remember Heather only having ice chips. Jacob Masters texted and he says, I don't get the Stitch joke.
Okay, well, we're not. Go to Google.
Just Google
go to
it.
Wikipedia.
Right, yeah.
We're not going to get into the descriptions of what happens sometimes during labor. This is one. My water had just broke, and we were getting ready to leave for the hospital when all of a sudden my husband packed a pair of scissors in the go bag. Do I need to bring them, or does the hospital have some for me to cut the umbilical cord?
Oh, always be prepared. He was a Boy Scout, I bet.
I can't hate on that. I cut the cord.
Did you really?
Yeah. I never said anything dumb, but I did fall asleep while she was in labor. And there's a picture of me in a chair holding a football asleep while she's sitting there looking.
Were you practicing?
No,
Is that why you're holding the
it was
football?
his first gift.
Oh, okay.
Eric says
but,
go ahead.
I was going to say, but was she actively in labor, or
Yes.
were you there for many? Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you're there for many hours, and you
We were. Yeah, we were. We were there for like
right, but she
18
wasn't
hours.
pushing the baby out.
No. I was right there. I would have had a
So what's the
catcher's
problem
mitt
with
on.
taking a nap?
I don't know, but she loves to make fun of me for it, and still talks to you. I've got a picture of it.
Am I wrong?
I've got
there?
evidence.
As the father-to-be, are you not allowed to take a nap while your wife doesn't?
No, if my husband was there and we've been there 18, 20 hours and I'm still not ready to push and he wants to take a cat nap, who cares?
Right, absolutely. Blitz, good morning. Hi, who's this? Blitz, hello.
Hey.
Hey, did you say something dumb in the delivery room?
Yes, I did.
Oh, awesome. Who's this?
It's Jeremy.
Jeremy, what'd you say?
They had to, snip her a little bit to get the baby out.
Yep.
And afterwards, I was like, wow, they split you from the rooter to the tutor.
That's something you're supposed to say.
That is the best one, though.
Funny.
Not during that procedure.
I feel like, though, you are proud of yourself for that one.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
They call that a episiotomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you, sir.
Eric said
Thanks for the call.
The doctor and I were watching Nash Bridges. My son was being bored. My wife said something. I told her to shush.
Oh, dude.
Don't want to miss this plot point. Wow. Keep it down over there. While delivering my son, I felt something coming out. I told my husband to get the nurse, so my dear, sweet, sweet, wonderful husband goes to the door and yells out, "My wife has to take a dump!"
Everything is at everything's at a 10, though, really.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like you're
true.
so worried, you're so excited, everything's just happening.
Yeah. You got one more, Thick?
Oh, yeah. Scott said when the doctor said no sex for 6 weeks, I just said, well, one store closed doesn't mean the whole mall is closed.
Oh,
dude! You're lucky you didn't get them ripped off for that.
99.7 The Blitz.
Right now, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
Jonathan Joss, the actor known for voicing John Redcorn on King of the Hill, was fatally shot on June 1st in San Antonio, Texas. The 59-year-old was reportedly confronted by his neighbor, Sigfredo Alvarez Ceja, who allegedly shouted homophobic slurs before opening fire. Ceja has been charged with murder. He's being held on a $200,000 bond. While authorities have found no evidence linking the crime to Joss's sexual orientation, the investigation is ongoing. Joss not only voiced John Redcorn. He's quite an impressive IMDb, but he did John Redcorn on King of the Hill, and he also portrayed Chief Ken Hotate in the show Parks and Recreation. He was 59 years old, shot to death.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Blake Lively has made a move to drop claims that Justin Baldoni caused her emotional distress while working on their 2024 movie, It Ends With Us. Whoa. Court documents show that Lively requested to withdraw claims that she suffered from intentional infliction of emotional distress and negligent infliction of emotional distress as a result of Baldoni's alleged misconduct. Now, her filing came after Baldoni's legal team requested she sign a release for them to access her medical and mental health records in order to substantiate claims that she suffered emotional distress. So instead of complying with that, she is trying to withdraw her claim of infliction of emotional distress, and the court will determine whether her request will be approved.
I can't stand this girl.
Yeah, it's interesting. Although I would not want to give access to any of my medical records to anybody for whatever reason. But I guess if you're going to claim something and sue somebody over it, you have to be able to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, for something like emotional distress or emotional, well-being.
Right.
Did you go get help for it?
Right.
Is there
Let's
someone
see
you
the
talked
proof.
to? And let's see the proof.
Yeah. Yep.
And you got dragons protecting you, right?
Well, one.
Oh, that's right. She lost one, didn't she?
She lost one,
Taylor
yeah.
bailed on her.
Haley Joel Osment is avoiding jail time after his public intoxication arrest. The judge has instead ordered him into treatment for substance abuse. Osment was arraigned yesterday. He was granted a 1-year diversion program. He has to attend 3 AA meetings per week for the next 6 months. And then he has to meet with his therapist twice a week, too. That is a lot of therapy. It's better than having to check yourself into rehab, though.
For sure.
You still have your freedom. But 3 AA meetings a week, 2 sessions with his therapist per week. And then he is scheduled for court again January 5th, 2026, at which time a judge will decide if he's lived up to the terms of his program. And those are your 3 things.
All right, do you have yourself a 4-legged friend? If so, who is costing you some money? Now there are different aspects to this. Like, you have got a lot of options for food. I remember growing up, Kibbles and Bits and like Pedigree. You went and bought the giant dog bag at the store, and that was it. And now, a lot of people are talking about more natural, less processed food. Some of it is even like
gourmet,
yeah. You keep it in the fridge. It's individually wrapped. It's actually made with food that we eat.
You see the commercial, somebody comes over, it's just dog food, and they kick them out.
Right.
It's like,
so
he's just a dog.
That's the beginning of it. What are you feeding them? How much are you spending on their food? Do you have a pet that is more privy to needing medical help? Do you have an English bulldog, or do you have just a lab? Because English bulldogs are famous for having certain medical issues, things like that. And then how much do you spoil them? Do they have a blanket on the ground, or do they have the ergonomic? What's the word? Ergonomic shaped for them dog bed? Do they have all these dog houses and all that kind of other stuff?
Man, some people treat them like they are absolute human beings.
If you have a cat or a dog that lives on average for about 15 years, on average, you're going to spend about $5,735 a year on your cat, $8,158 on your dog. For their lifetime, cats can cost upwards of $47,000. For their lifetime, dogs can cost upwards of $61,000. At about a bare minimum, you're spending $25,000 on your dog.
Oh, so when you said 50 whatever 100, you were talking about per year?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, even if you have a rabbit, you're spending over $1,000 annually on your pet.
Really?
Yep. And I don't know. I get it. They're a member of the family, and I want to give them things, but man, I don't know if I can do all that.
There is no way we spent that kind of money on our dog. No chance. Got dog food and some treats.
Right.
And I mean, a squeaky toy here and there, one bed her whole life. I mean, yeah.
And if I had, not that I ever would, but if I had a cat, I'm not spending a dime. I'm throwing a box on the floor or a paper bag.
What?
That's it.
You got to give them like something to claw, like a scratching post.
A scratchy post, yeah. Well, I'm getting them declawed. If they scratch on my couch, I'm punting them. There's no way. Yeah, a scratchy post.
Man, they get out, they're in trouble.
But, I mean, that's the other thing. I wouldn't have an outdoor cat.
No, but they get out. Once they get out, they always want out. Forever.
Really?
Oh, yeah. A cat becomes outdoor like overnight.
I don't know. I'm concerned, Kiss, about the conversation we had with the boys and talking about getting them a dog once they move here. And it's like, all right, it may take a minute though, because we got to get situated and settled, and there's new house things to buy, and that's so. You know it, but you just don't do the math in your head, and when you see it on paper, you're like, Oh, those things are expensive.
They don't have to be that expensive. The problem is medical issues. That's where you get into really expensive issues with pets because.
And I don't know. And I'm not saying this for certain, but I can't fathom some sort of like, you know, if you've had a dog or a cat and you've had to go through like the emergency surgery situation where something happens.
Yeah.
A broken bone or they swallow something or if you got to take them in and all of a sudden I got to lay down $8,000 for an emergency surgery or more. I'll have that kind of money lying around.
Sometimes you got to let them go.
That's insane. Anyways, if you've got yourself a four-legged friend, just know that, you're putting out some dollar bills, y'all. It's 99.7 The Blitz.
Now, let's see if we can learn you something. Sit up and pay attention.
Yeah, let's make you a little bit smarter than you were when you woke up this morning. Did you know that if you're over the age of 50, the world population has doubled in your lifetime?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
I know it's gone up 1.5 billion since I've been born.
Yeah.
I remember when we hit the 8 billion mark.
Yeah, and it's projected to go to 10 and then start going the opposite direction.
Yeah?
And I'm like, and then just keep going the opposite direction because that means it's going to end.
Well,
I mean, if it's just going to keep going down after it hits 10 billion.
Well, but I mean, not necessarily. Just mathematically, it's the fact that the baby boomers are going to start, peeling off, and then we're not having as many babies as we do now. And
right.
So, well, I don't think it's not going to keep going down. It'll just level off.
I love how corporate America's freaking out about the drop in birth rates because, that's just, there's an iPhone user, a future iPhone user, a future homeowner, a future baby maker,
can only
lose
sustain
money
so much.
Yeah.
The word Ouija is trademarked by Hasbro.
Luigi?
No, Ouija. The Ouija board.
Oh,
Ouija board.
Ouija.
Yeah. Ouija.
Ouija.
Yeah. I didn't know that they trademarked it when they made. Haven't the Ouija boards been around a long time? I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you going to the Googles there?
Yeah.
How long have Ouija boards been a thing?
Come on. 1890.
Oh, so how does Hasbro have it trademarked?
Probably Elijah Bond, who invented it in 1890, got a patent in 1891. So I'm guessing he sold it to.
He sold it off, maybe.
I'm guessing
or his family did. Okay. I did know this. The Secret Service was originally created in 1865 to deal with rampant counterfeiting to stabilize the American financial system. I didn't realize it by the end.
Wow.
Did you not know that?
No.
Oh, I knew that's why the Secret Service started.
I did not know that.
What I did not know was by the end of the Civil War, nearly 1/3 of all currency in circulation was counterfeit. There were a lot of counterfeit bills back in the day.
Man, they were. That was big business.
But I didn't know that
the mob and stuff.
Yeah, that's why the Secret Service got started, was to deal with counterfeiting. With inflation, speaking of counterfeit and dollars and stuff, with inflation, the value of the dollar is less than half of what it was in 1996. Meaning, in other words, it takes $211 today to buy what it cost $100 to buy 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, that does suck. However, listen to this. Historically, it's an improvement. Average annual inflation over the past 30 years is roughly 2.5%. It was 5.4% over the previous 30 years, 1965 to 1995, meaning it took $480 in 1995 what it cost $100 to buy 30 years before that.
Man.
Oh, that's a big jump.
So when I worked at Wendy's in high school, minimum wage was $3.35 an hour.
Okay. I was $4.10 or $3.75, and then it went to $4.10.
Yeah. So I mean, consider, you talk about the cost of something now, but minimum wage is more than double that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's triple what I was making.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and finally, if you're a football fan, this is pretty impressive. Terrell Owens.
Yes.
Love him or hate him. I'm assuming as a Cowboys fan that you love Terrell Owens.
I did, man.
I am who I am.
Yes, you are, T.O.
Yes, he is.
Me.
This is pretty impressive. He is the only player in NFL history. I'll ask you, Thick.
Yeah.
He's the only player in NFL history to do what?
The only player in NFL history. Well, I know it can't be that. Tom Brady has beaten every team in the league. So
You're close. It has to deal with that.
To get a receiving touchdown?
To score a touchdown.
To score a touchdown.
To score a touchdown against all 32 teams. But how good was Terrell Owens? He's also the only person who has scored at least 2 touchdowns against all of them during his career.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. Now, he was a wide receiver for 5 different teams, so, some players don't get the opportunity if they're playing in certain conferences or things like that. But, yes, he's the only player in history to not only score a touchdown versus every team, but score 2 touchdowns against every team.
Man, that's impressive. I mean, Tio, what do you have to say about that?
I don't have to say anything. I know how to play football.
Well, there you go.
That's all you need to know.
T.O.,
Learning
man.
some stuff on a Tuesday morning. It's 99.7 The Blitz.
Get your popcorn ready, because it's going to be a show.